Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out Real Talk Friday edition with me, Nick
I'm guarding this meeting.
Marchese is special guesting today. Welcome to the Nerdatorium again, young man.
Yes, I'm feeling very young these days.
What have you got?
Couple of things. Yeah, that's a weird.
Something.
But you know what? Hey, you do you. But
Hey,
so we got a puppy a few weeks ago, and it has been very, very interesting. It's been a long time since we've had a puppy in the house. And especially when we had the puppy in the house, it wasn't work from home and the whole balance of the requirements of what a puppy has versus work and life. I tried to bring said puppy, who was absolutely adorable, into a client meeting yesterday. And because the clients want to meet her and she's awesome and they're awesome clients and I love working with them. So I had her on my lap and she was, of course, jumping all over the place and doing the cute things that puppies do as I'm trying to conduct a semi-professional meeting, talking about performance and partner updates and tracking integrations and all that. And she started squirming, wanted to get down. So I went to go stand up to get her off my lap. And this poor little 10-week-old puppy had her paws in between my leg and the armrest. So when I went to go stand up, the poor girl had her paw just crushed and she just starts yelping and crying. And of course, I feel like the biggest jerk in the world that I'm like hurting my brand new puppy who is like already an integral part of the family. And it's interesting because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, nothing like this could have ever happened. But you don't work from home 15 years ago. That's not even a real thing. Or if it is, it's just like 3 people in the US. Now it's like this dog is with me all the time.
yeah,
And my clients were joking because they're like, how do you get any work done? And I think that brings up a good thing to talk about today, which is work-life balance and how we are so lucky to be able, at least the folks like you, I, and Kristen, and everyone who gets to work from home, is very easy to take something like this for granted. Like we get to do the things that other folks don't get to. And while we have talked about in the past the stress of entrepreneurship and life and all that stuff, there's always this massive silver lining that underlines everything here, which is the fact that we get to be home with our family, with our brand new
right.
puppies. We get to do these things that so many other people in the world don't get to do.
Yeah,
And it is like, we're among, I think, the luckiest people in the world.
for sure. If you go through you can complain all you want about the concept of not being in a social environment when you and I are social people. That's probably the biggest downside, but the upside's just catapult way above all the pros. I'm not spending anything on gas ever. Like, how much savings is that? I've never even calculated. You're the numbers guy. So,
I would hardly say I'm a numbers guy. However, I would say you're probably, depending on what your trip was. For me, I would take the train when I was working at Sheriff's, I was taking the
okay.
train down. And that was about $150 a month. And
All right.
now, if I spend $150 a year in
Yeah.
transportation, I'd be blown away. Blown away. Like a year. Yeah. Yeah. I was joking with someone the other day too about how if they ever wanted to find me, I'm just joking, just Google my address and I'm usually within a 1 mile radius. 95% of the time, it's like within 1 mile because I never have to leave. And if I do, it's like a different event going on, but you can find me. I'm here.
Is your wife or roommates, do they work from home as well?
Yes, my wife does work from home 95% of the time.
Okay. And how do you guys split that up? Are you guys in the same room?
No, I talk way too much. And she would go absolutely insane if she had to deal with me talking in her ear all day long. She would just not do well with it. We sometimes rotate here in the office. We play musical office depending on what sort of meetings we have and or if the kids are home or if the puppy's being loud or whatever it may be. For the most part, I'm here in the office just because I'm set up. I've got my stuff all established and she is downstairs in our family room, which I'm jealous of, frankly. Would like to swap it around because it's just more open. It's bigger windows to look outside and more fresh. But yeah, how about you?
Sarah's on the other side of the house, and I don't hear her meeting. She doesn't hear mine.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then we rarely talk work anyway, even though we're in the same industry. We just try to keep it family oriented stuff. And yeah, we vent every once in a while about clients or things going on at work, of course, and we get to listen to each other, but we never talk strategy, like ever. I've got this client, I've got to do this thing. She doesn't ask my opinion, I don't ask hers, kind of thing.
So wild because the two brilliant minds that are in that household within the affiliate space, like if you did work together, the first off, I'm sure one of you guys would end up killing the other. However, during that time period, though, before that actually happened, there'd probably be some magnificent things being built.
Maybe one day, we'll see. The dream would be my entrepreneurship take off and she
Yeah.
could assist in some kind of way, but that's a long time wish list dream. But anyway, yeah, work from life Love it. Can't complain enough.
I'm going to complain because it's
Yeah.
human nature to find
Yeah.
something to complain about.
Sarah
Put me down. It's,
Sarah said the other day she saw the electricians working outside. She's like, "Man, it must be nice working outside all day." And in that, I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? Like, how much they envy us, like sitting in our own comfortable
right.
all day?" It's
The
funny.
grass always,
Yeah.
it's funny. And I spent 6 years working outside, and it's not fun as it turns out. You get sunburn, especially if you're like in the Midwest or somewhere in a cold region, you're freezing outside, your fingers go numb because you can't, like, it's definitely way better to be able to have a little portable space heater right here with an electric blanket. Again,
We are so soft. I go out with a shovel for half an hour. My arms are tired. I'm getting
yeah.
blisters. I'm like, oh, no.
That's when you just call someone to come do it for you. I'm sure there's an Uber-like shovel company.
Uber shovel. Anyway, another topic. Something happened to me this week that I want to talk about. And I don't take on clients. When I get leads come in and they're like, hey, I need this help, I point them to people that I trust in the industry. If they want me to build a list, I can build a list. That's what I do. But outside of that, I'm sending to friends like you and other agencies that I know are qualified for this. And maybe 4 months ago, I sent it to a new friend that I thought could handle this client. And that person came back to me and, hey, this did not work out. They were totally unprofessional. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. And clients are going to be weird. There's always two sides of a story, right? So I reach out to the guy I've been sending these referrals to, and I'm like, first of all, you didn't even tell me you got this client. Part of my income is based on referrals and you kicking me back. And then secondly, like, why is this happening? What's your side of the story? How did you see it? And I think that's an important aspect of all of it, right? You can get a very bad reputation in this industry really quickly, and you can burn a lot of bridges if you're not doing things in a professional manner. And so that's really something to think about when you're a young consultant, especially on the referrals that you get.
Yeah, I agree. There's no right answer too, because your point, like there's two sides of that coin. I wonder, and obviously I don't know who the person is, and it doesn't matter for me whatsoever. But is there almost like a pre-vetting process that you can go through with these friends to figure out what their strategy is like? And I guess the other question too, was it non-professional or was it non-performance based on satisfaction?
I think it could be a little bit of both. Hey, what's up, Kristen? Good to see you. Good to not see you.
Good to have you see us.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It's perfect. I would say young in your consulting career, you probably don't set expectations like you should with clients. Either you have this blind confidence that you're going to do well with every client, or that you learn this process of, hey, it's not going to work out with everything. I love your model of give me 3 months to prove the concept is working.
Yeah.
And you do really well with that. Can you explain like your strategy when you handle clients?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no right, there's no wrong way to do it. My personal approach is I will prevent the client the best I can. I'll go to whatever publicly accessible information I can find as far as how many reviews there are. I take everything that they say with a bit of a grain of salt. No offense to any of my clients, but I anticipate that some of those numbers are probably your peak number, and that we're somewhere probably in the middle from what a norm it might be. But once I'm talking to them, my approach on this is I don't want to get married with someone right out of the gates. I want to know that my approach is going to work for them and that their approach is going to work for me. I do not have any interest in locking right out of the gates into someone with a contract that's 12 months long before I'm even working with them. Because, what if, while I can maybe get exposure and bring revenue, what if there's a conflict of personality? And I think that's a big part of it too, because there's a lot to say about the relationship that you have with your clients. And Dustin, we've talked about how our superpowers are oftentimes reflected in our ability to build and maintain relationships. That's how I sell myself. Not necessarily, I don't ever promise guaranteed performance. In fact, I caution against guaranteed performance because I used to guarantee performance and then COVID hit. There's no way to know exactly when the next virus is going to take out half the world's economy, and you don't know what's going to happen with that. So I've stopped forecasting. I've stopped giving guarantees of performance. And now my guarantee to clients that I'm just going to bust my ass. I'm going to do my best for you, knowing that your goal is growth and that my goal is to keep you as a client by bringing you growth. So why don't we do this? If it's a new program, for example, I'll launch the program and we'll set like a 3-month trial window. And that after that 3-month window trial, it renews. But the goal here being not necessarily on proven numbers at that point in time, but more so the term I use is proof of concept. Because especially if you're building out a program, or if you're even taking over a new program and you're cleaning it up, the way I see this is for a new program, it takes a month to get up and running, to get launched, right? So clearly performance at that point in time is going to be zero. If you're taking over an older account to get more acclimated with the account, you need to do your audits. You need to almost re-interview the partners who aren't the obvious ones. If it's the mass media publications that are driving scale and performance, leave them in, don't do anything. But for all the other folks, I want to interview them. I want to talk to them again. I want to build that new relationship with them and let them know that I'm going to be on their side to help them earn commissions. And I'm going to help them earn as much as they can. If that means I have to brainstorm with them content ideas or make sure that they're compliant with any sort of FTC compliance or anything like that, I'm going to do my best to do that.
Yeah.
So that's month one is like framework.
Yeah.
Month two is great. Now I've already started also reaching out and prospecting for partners or doing whatever I do, but getting that to the next level. And then the third month, at the end of that third month, we should start to see some activity, some performance, depending on the partner, obviously, depending on the brand, everything's going to be a little bit different. It's always based off of actual proof of concept of is the affiliate channel with me going to work out? And if we get to that third month and I don't see performance and they don't see performance and I don't see potential and they don't see potential, I am more than happy to end the contract and even make a referral to someone who might be a little bit more qualified or more able to handle whatever the disparity is that I'm having.
Yeah, that proof of life, I think, is super important. And then giving that client the decision to like, yes, you're doing good work. No, we want to discontinue that. I feel like that's a really good way to go about it. As long as you keep that communication open of, okay, I'm feeling a lot of these relationships starting to build out. And I think this is going to work really well pretty soon. One other caveat of this story here is the agency themselves was expecting like, expectations weren't there, right? He got paid up front, or she, and then 3 months down the line when it happened that they're going to end this relationship, he kept this CRM that he'd been building up with the relationships that he's been talking and people he's talking to. He kept it to himself and held it hostage until there's another payment. And then the client thinks, no, there's no more payment.
You already paid 3 months.
Yeah.
That work was done in that 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there is a conflict of vision in that contract. It wasn't set up right. And I think that contract setup, it needs to be really clear and then voiced to that client in the early first month. Like, this is what's going to happen. And then if this doesn't happen, this is what happens, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't like the hostage situation. That's never fun for anybody.
Yeah, it's almost a bit bait and switch, right? I guess the way that I kind of see this is that everything that, like, if they paid, especially upfront, which I also not really a big fan of myself, because again, like, what if something happens, we all hate each other, then I don't even want to do the 3 months, then I don't want them to do the 3 months.
Yeah.
But the paying upfront, I don't love. The hostage situation, I guess the way I see this is everything that took place during that 3 months, you're a subcontractor for that brand. Like, we are subcontractors. So this is theirs. Everything is theirs. Like, they own all of this. They're just using you to build that relationship and build that reputation for them. And granted, it becomes a lot easier for you as the agency or us from the agency because we've worked with these partners and we can say, hey, here's our new client, and they're used to working with us and it facilitates everything. But that's the value of working with us. And there are a lot of agencies out there that will, for example, when they end a relationship with a client, they will use a term along the lines of burn it down. And they will take everything that they've done in the program. They will delete program description, program agreements, all these things out of there. And to me, that is such a, I don't know if I want to
Childish,
unethical way, but that's 3 months that however long it was that you had that client for, they paid for that. That's not a rent. It's not a lease. It is a purchase. They have paid for that service. They paid for that output. And if you delete it, to me, that's a serious issue.
Yeah. And you know who those people are. And maybe you've told that story before of who those people are as well. So it's never good. Never a good situation. Anyway. All right. Our time's up, buddy. Thanks for talking through a little bit of this.
Yeah. Happy Friday, man. You got any fun plans for the weekend?
No, I'm just choring, which is great.
Oh, is it?
I love it. I got to build a deck for the pool.
Oh, okay. That actually sounds fun.
It's not fun, but I love it.
I think that sounds like an amazing time. I'll be there. I'll hop a quick flight.
Yeah, a quick jump out. All right.
We'll be good to go.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care.